Hi everyone, good afternoon. How are you doing? I see we already have a bunch of people on the chat. Hey, hi Yinch. We also have already one new follower on Twitch. Hi, Forgetters. Forgetters. Hi, how are you doing? Good to have you all here. It feels like a very long time since our last stream. I mean, it was last month, yeah, about last month. But still, it really feels like ages ago. I don't know for you, but for me at least. Maybe because I've been busy, I had my head quite busy or something like that. Hey, whatever the platform you're using, come say hi in the chat. I see all the messages from the different platform. We're not live on as many platform as when we have guests. So right now we're live on YouTube, um, Twitch, and Twitter, and that's about it. I keep LinkedIn and I stopped doing Facebook, but I keep LinkedIn for when we have guests around. Hey, Metamurai. Wow, thanks so much. So you just gifting me your Prime subscribe, so that's amazing. Thank you so much. And what is really amazing, really, is to see the 16 months. Like, wow, that's huge. I think you have been supporting me since I started the live AMAs, or at least since I got affiliate on Twitch, so I could accept Prime videos, membership, and all the different subs and beats and everything. So that's amazing. Thank you so much. Also, I may have mentioned it um, on Discord. Hopefully, this will be the last stream with this setup. I really hope so, but I should be moving out, and I don't know yet how we're going to put the room together, what my desk will look like or anything, what kind of light I will get. Will I be still able to use some natural light? I have no idea. I haven't been able to get in the flat yet, so I haven't been doing any test or anything. We'll see. Hey, Dapati, I'm so bad with that. Dapakitul, hi, and thank you so much for your follow on Twitch. Um, oh, Zappa, it's you. Okay. Sometimes people do have different names or usernames between the different platforms. It's so hard to get who's who. But okay, the Zappa, that's so nice to see you here. You say Twitch doesn't allow you to log in with your email address. Okay, so you're logging with Facebook. That's good. That's fine. I actually don't see. I'm not sure what's the difference for you, but for me, just see your name. So I don't think that changes much. Which account you're logging in? Maybe it changes your username. I don't know. But good to see you here. How are you doing? You've been on the Discord for quite some time now, for a couple of weeks, and that has been really a real pleasure to have you around and discuss and chat about a bunch of things. So it's good to have you this time on the stream. We don't have guests today, so it's going to be very chill out and, one of these just chill out coffee chats. But we should be able to get back to the interviews soon. I mean, in September, I already have some guests I'm talking to book for September. No date so far booked, so it's not 100% confirmed. But yeah, I'm sure we'll restart the AMA in September. And hopefully by then I will have also some time to talk to more founders, more entrepreneurs. I already have in mind a few profiles, but just finding the right people that are available at a specific day and time isn't always easy. So there is first the step where I need to figure out what kind of people I want to get on the stream, if I want to talk about a specific topic. There are a few things that I would like to address in the coming few months. I'd love to have a founder that has shut down their company and decided to just walk away and do something else, either to restart another business or join another company. I also would love to have a founder that has exited successfully the business, so sold the business to another company, whether it was in unproposed or it just happened. And I'd like to really have people who share different kind of experience, the kind of things we don't hear everywhere. And so yeah, that would be quite interesting. I haven't yet found any founders for that, but I'm going to keep looking. And of course, what I find really interesting is when we have guests that are quite technical or doing something that is very niche, something that you don't really know about the industry, or it's not, the usual SaaS platform, or, something that maybe requires regulations or gives you an idea of a different industry, or something that is not well known or well covered. So, yeah. But basically, I'm always on the look for new guests. So I can't wait to restart the interviews in September. And as I said, I still don't know what kind of setup we'll have. So some of you know that I used to do the interviews in real life. And people used to come here and we did the interview in real life, on this couch just over there. And also we were playing video games in the middle of the interview, and things have changed a lot since then, with the pandemic, but also just being able to interview people from anywhere in the world. This has been pretty nice, being able to talk about the startup scene in different countries, and the different access to investment or different mindsets. So I think we're going to keep it fully remote, but if that's something that you'd like to see again, have real life interviews, that's something that we can bring back. But right now, I kind of have the feeling that lots of people are just making the most of the situation, that everyone is set up to work remotely. Everyone is just trying to keep doing that as much as they can. And same for the video game aspect. We managed to bring it back a few months ago when we had Ben on the stream, who is working on an esport company based in Canada. And it was very interesting, and it was also a good excuse to play video games. But I don't know if it's because we played Fortnite, and Fortnite is quite engaging. You need really to be focused on this while you're playing, or if it's just because we played for a very long time. It felt like the interview could have been better or more in depth without the gaming side. So I don't know. Maybe we could bring it back also at some point, but I feel that maybe not. Maybe it's good to have the opportunity to do a better deep dive into someone's experience, and maybe keep video games for a special occasion or something. I don't know. That's really open to discussion, open to idea. I want your feedback on that. And if you have any thoughts, really, I'm definitely happy to listen just to get some feedback and see what's best. But for sure, as soon as I will be set up in my new place, I hope I'll be able to create more content. I've done a first vlog last year, and I don't want to look how far it was. Like, it really was a long time ago, and I wanted to do that regularly, just to update on some progress on my startup, but also to kind of show progression on a founder's mindset. And problem was, well, first I was quite busy, and we pivoted the business at some point, so I didn't think about, I didn't have the headspace to think about doing a videos on that. But then it's been months since I have the text ready, but there is so much noise constantly in this flat. So many problems with trucks going through the road just outside, noise or suddenly vibration on the ground. Like, it has been impossible to shoot anything. Really, recording here has been a nightmare, and I even had to postpone interviews, like podcast interviews, just because I can't find a moment. I can't be sure that during the day at some point I will have 30 minutes or maybe an hour just to record something. So I've been pushing everything back, and I really hope I'll be able to create more content and do more stuff as soon as I'm in a place where I can just do that. This has been really frustrating, but yeah. Yinch, you say there might be some games with a gentler pace. Yes, for sure, yes. Like the couch games, and that's why I really used to enjoy couch games, because usually, especially the first few levels, it's rather easy. You don't need to really be into it, or it's fun. So you play very short games, and then that's it. You've seen everything. So yeah, maybe we can bring that back or on special occasion, because also finding guests who accept to play games, it also adds another level of difficulty. First you have to say, oh, do you want to do the interview with me? And then they're like, okay, why not? And then you say, okay, so this is going to be live, and people will be able to ask questions. And then some founders are like, oh, I don't know, going live, being on camera, let me think about it. And then if you add the video game part, that's where you lose 50% of the potential guests. So that's also another reason why it was good to post the gaming part too. Zapa, you say, big sign on the flat window. If your decibel level is higher than this, I will hunt you down. Well, I wish it was that simple. The problem is it's not individuals, it's an entire building being built just outside. So the entrance of the construction of the construction site is just in front of my flat, and so this is just a nightmare. I am trying to escape this situation, and for those who follow me on Twitter, I am very sorry, because I've been using Twitter to amplify some messages, and the worst thing is that it works. And that's why I keep doing it on Twitter. So I don't want to destroy my channel on especially having so many angry tweets on my tweet lines. But in the same time, if you want to get something, that's the best way to get it. Just complaining publicly, tagging the right people, tagging the council. So the other day I tried to get in touch with my console here, and they they didn't reply to any of the messages I sent through the usual form. So I found the right department to get in touch with, and then I sent them the right forms and everything, and I never got any reply until I tagged them on Twitter, and then they called me back within a few hours. Sounds like magic, but I can tell you every time I did that, it worked. Every time I complained publicly, it worked. So unfortunately, if this works, I have to keep doing it. So yeah, but I'm sorry for people following me there on Twitter. Promise, as soon as this situation is resolved, and I hope it will be soon. Yeah, I'll get back to my usual tweeting and post and everything. Hey, Gamer Tagged Media. Hey, how are you doing? Good evening to you too. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's been a while, right? Well, actually, it feels like a long time. But yeah, if you're not following me on Twitter, the thing is, because of this construction road, it's actually making me sick. So yes, I can't record before going live for an AMA or something else for the past few months. I never knew if I could have some moment with no noise or anything. It has caused so much trouble. And yeah, being really sick physically is what really pushed me to take some actions. So should be moving soon, but I still have this flat, so I need to, well, find a way to get out of this nightmare. But at least sometime you just need to think about your own health and what's best. So yes, maybe we're going to pay two rents for a while, and when you're in London, that's just crazy to think about that. But at least we're going to be safe. In a safer place, in a place where we're not just constantly breathing dust, or where you can just wake up on the morning and not feeling like nauseous just because the entire ground is shaking, or just having video calls during the day, just having a normal call without trying to, I don't know, trying to create some barriers to block the noise, and because it doesn't work anyway. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that, and I think I'm going to spend part of the weekend just planning ahead, starting packing a few things, and I just don't know how long it will take to get internet there. So as soon as I have internet, I'll move my office. But I have no idea yet how I'm going to set it up. So can't tell if there will be some changes. We'll see. Certainly, I mean, I can't recreate the same setup, so we'll see. But how about you? How is your summertime going? Because I noticed so many people are right now on holiday. July was okay. I haven't noticed much changes, but August, it's like everyone I was trying to be in touch with, or every email was just getting an automatic reply saying this person is on annual leave. So has anyone had any holiday? I know I've seen a bunch of you on Discord quite often, but maybe you were, replying to some messages from your holiday or from the beach or whatever. So has anyone had some, free time or just rest over the summer? Yeah, Yinch, you say it has been very intense working this summer. Yeah. So how's that? You're still working on your game, on your VR experience. Um, is it busy because you're getting closer to the release, or is it busy that just building it takes a lot of time? But you say you actually don't mind too much. It's good to be busy when you really love what you do and you really want to achieve that. When you're ready to put the hours into it because you really want to see the results. Okay, so the ski game is going out to press now. That's pretty cool. How are you preparing for that? I remember you told me about well, working on the press release and the potential press impact. Um, I also am working on something quite similar right now, trying to get a press release together. So if you have any tips or anything that you've been doing that you think helped you in terms of press release or getting something out to the press, I'm very curious about that. So you have a preview version that for reviewers right now. Okay, that's good. That's good to get some first feedback before, I guess, before going out to the press and getting their feedback first. Hey Luke, how are you doing? It's been a while, indeed, yes. But I have been keeping up with what you're up to through LinkedIn. I really like the fact that you're sharing lots of updates there, so that's pretty nice. How are you doing? How's the summer for you? Any time off, uh, away or not, or any new project? What are you up to? I was actually chatting with my family about holidays, and they had some time, going out to the beach and everything, and they told me every time they ask me, so any holiday for you, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't even remember what this means, and I say that every year, but that's completely true. So yeah, no holiday, but that's okay. I'm not a huge fan on going on holiday in the same time as everyone else, going to these crowded places. I prefer to have shorter weekends, like small escapade where you visit one city and or one country and you visit a few places and in a short time. And September is coming fast now. Like you say, I have been focusing on work recently and posting on LinkedIn when I can. I have 2 weeks off in October. Cool, what are you going to do? Just getting some rest, or are you actually planning something for then? October feels far away, but actually it's coming fast. I think I'm going to have also maybe 1 or 2 days off in October because Alex and I we are going to develop Brighton. Alex, my co-founder, is going to speak there, so he's going to give a presentation, and I think his presentation is on the last day of the conference. So what would be natural, ideal? What would be ideal to do? Would be just to take a few days after the conference, just to stay in Brighton. Brighton is lovely. I've been there a few months now. It was before the pandemic, so it wasn't a few months ago. It was actually maybe 2 years ago, and I really loved the city. I really liked being able to walk everywhere. Also, I had an hotel in a very central location, so it was pretty nice. But I'm thinking about spending just a few days after the conference to hang out there. And I'm sure lots of people who are coming to Brighton just for this event are going to do the same. So maybe it would be also fun to kind of come across some new friends in the street of Brighton. That's not such a big city, so that would be nice. Yeah, you're thinking about getting some rest and visiting some friend. That's nice. That's the best way to have holidays. Thing is, when you plan holidays, like in the hot season, going to very crowded places, you usually come back very tired. So I feel that the best way to have a break is just to do things that are very quiet. Stay home, relax, go to some very quiet places. That's the best way to be fully rested after that. Has anyone else has any plans? Maybe some holidays or some trips to come? Even though right now it's kind of hard to plan some trips. I mean, the pandemic isn't over for sure, and there's some countries that have the situation is really getting even more dangerous, and the number of cases is growing constantly, and so I find it hard to just plan ahead visiting just other countries right now. But you know what? I really can't wait just for September to be here. I don't know for you, but I'm always a bit anxious, especially right now that I am building my own company. When summer comes, because summertime is usually pretty quiet, and well, when you're an employee, you're like, oh, cool, that's going to be a quiet month, and I'm just going to be chilling out, and maybe there won't be that many calls or that many events, and we're just going to slowly be preparing for September. But now, as a founder, I find summertime being quite stressful because it's pretty quiet, and so you don't know if it's you the problem, if people are not getting back to you because they're not interested, so you're kind of questioning yourself. And then you think, yeah, but that's summertime, so people are just on holiday. But then, even if you know that, you're kind of always thinking or overthinking, okay, but what about the business? Is it really because of summertime, or are things not going to come back in September? Are people really going to answer me then or not? And you kind of ask yourself so many questions. So yeah, I found summertime as a founder not being the best. Even though we've been quite busy, there's something that we want to launch, and we initially wanted to launch it before summertime, and then we decided to just push it back just a little bit. Um, and then just a few weeks, and then we realized, well, that's the middle of summer, maybe that's not the best idea, so let's just take the time to do it maybe even better, have better visuals, have better demonstration, because that's the thing that we've been facing mainly. Every time we want to talk about what we do visually, it's hard to show how good our bots are, and what we can do. So showing something visually has been something that we needed to spend some time thinking about. So that's what we've done, and I think it was worth it. So hopefully we'll be able to do some announcement and some visual stuff in the coming weeks, because it's getting ready. But now it's all about finding the right timing. I don't want to start emailing everyone in late August if no one is back from holiday. And that's kind of the feeling that I've had so far for the past few days. Like, people are still on holiday. Some people are back, but not everyone. So let's just take a few extra days and do that later on. And also headspace. As I said, I've been having so many trouble with this flat. And it's funny because when you're a founder, you think that everything bad or good, or every strong feeling is going to come from your company. If you have kind of a stable situation, you think about your company all the time, and so you think that if I don't know, if you were to be very stressed at some point, it will be because of your company. But for the past few weeks, I have been under a huge amount of stress dealing with some stuff, and it wasn't about the company, it was about personal stuff, and that's very frustrating. And it's also very odd because it's just taking so much of your headspace, much more than you would expect. And so it's just hard to keep focusing with the same level of attention on your company, on your business, just because you have this other stuff. And that's where you really start valuing having kind of a stable situation, or a stable life outside of work. So you can be ready for anything that could happen for your company. But if something in your personal life happens, then that's harder than expected. To be honest, I didn't expect it that. And my co-founder told me several times, just take a few days. It's okay if today you're not super productive. It's okay if you just work a few hours this morning and then take the rest of the day to call, the concierge and the landlady and everyone else, to just fix the problem. So yeah, it's kind of tricky. Yin, she said, trying to find the right moment is always a tricky balance. To launch something new, it is, yes. And when you work, so I've worked with lots of entrepreneurs, and something that you want to avoid absolutely is to be always preparing, always improving what you do because you want it to be perfect. So this hasn't really been the case here. It has more been about, let's give ourselves some extra days to do something better, and then just let's wait until the end of the summer rather than trying to rush something in the middle of summertime. But then, yes, I've seen many founders being stuck in this kind of circle where you want to wait a little bit so you can improve your product or maybe launch this new feature, and then something else comes, or maybe a competitor launch something else, and then you think, oh, maybe we need to do more, and so you get back to it and it never ends and you end up never launching anything. And that's a big risk, even though I feel that because there have been so many stories about that, now founders are more aware of this, and so it's less of a big trap, but it's still happening, yes. And it's hard, when you're working on something, if you don't have external feedback, it's hard just to say, let's do it, it's good enough. It's not about being good enough, because I don't know really if it's about being enough, because you want to always do more and you want to do better and you want to give the maximum. So it's just about saying, yeah, it's not really enough. It's about saying, it's good, let's stop overthink it and get some feedback right now so you can do even better for the next iteration, especially if you're doing a product. Yinchu say, I had to delay my PR launch for the same reason, but was aware that the experience was not enough and it added a few weeks delay. I had to work outside my comfort zone for getting to this launch. It's very difficult, but also working with other people is a good way of getting some pressure, because people will be like, okay, I've worked for this specific deadline, so unless you have a big problem, like something that doesn't work at all and you need to fix it, otherwise I am ready for this date. And so now if you keep pushing it, then they kind of put pressure on you because they are ready and waiting for you. So for this kind of situation, it can help to have a bunch of people on the same thing, working on the same project. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So did you already started your PR launch, or is it just the early days and you're like finishing the planning and going to launch in the coming days? Like, what's the agenda, and how did you go about that? Like, what's the main thing that you've learned working on this press release? Oh, okay, the press release have gone out. Okay, good. Is it like a few days ago, few hours ago, a few weeks ago? How long did it take for you? Okay, so some bloggers have started writing their article. That's good, in a few days. That's pretty nice. So I guess if it was just a few days ago, you didn't had to chase them or follow up with anyone yet. So you started the PR plan 2 months ago. Good. So that means that you've been working on the plan for about 2 months, then got ready, and then in a matter of few days, you already have some articles planned from bloggers. I think that's a pretty nice, and that's a good, a good time frame and good results already. Did you do everything on your own, or have you worked with an agency to help out? Because I feel that working with an agency can be helpful for product launch, because you have no idea what you're doing, and as a founder, you're kind of used to that. But then in the same time, there are some codes that you don't know about, and I feel quite lucky that in the past I've worked with some agencies so I could learn from some of the techniques. And then, for example, I created the other day a press release, and I don't know, I had mixed feelings about it because I don't really read that many press releases. So I asked around on some groups, on some chats, and someone reviewed it and gave me lots of feedback. And now I feel way much more confident about it because someone who is used to read press releases and review them and write them just gave me a few tips and didn't raise that many huge red flags. It wasn't like, that doesn't work out, don't send that away. So it was just a few suggestions and improvements, and I definitely started changing everything, and I'm still working on it. Hopefully it will be ready soon in the coming days. I mean, it's almost ready, but yeah, it helps to have some feedback. So you said that there hasn't been nothing intensive. You have an external company for marketing, and yes, feedback is both necessary and scary, for sure. As I said, when you're a founder, you're kind of used to try out things and just experiment on domains that you're not a pro and you don't necessarily have much experience on. But when you know that there are some codes in place, you don't want to blow it up because it's like you don't have the opportunity to do another first time impression on someone. And so if you start approaching, let's say, the press in your domain, and you give a bad impression just because you didn't know about some code, or anything, then you kind of shoot yourself in the feet, and you don't want to do that, right? So it's kind of walking on eggs with PR, because it's a very normalized area. Like, there are some codes to respect. You said you did iterate the press release a lot. It's hard to get, right? Because you want to respect the codes, but in the same time you need to tell a story, and you want it to be exciting, but you also want it to be accurate. And having both of them, it's kind of hard. You have an ex-Olympic skier, current national skier, to try out the game. So yeah, the feedback must be extremely important to you. Hey, Roy, how are you doing? You say, dealing with multiple problems can be tricky, where one or more issues has an unknown solving time or fluctuate in urgency. That is even harder. Definitely, yes. And then it's all about thinking strategically how you spend your time, what's the real priorities when you have different problems, depending of, are they connected with each other, is there something that can solve the rest or facilitate the other one. It's that kind of things are very tricky to manage. How are you doing, Roy? Yin should say unknown solving time has been the experience of the last few weeks. Interesting. Okay. Well, I hope you managed to go over it, and I guess you did, since you launched the first release and started reaching out. But that's pretty nice. I'm super excited for you, because right now I guess that's the kind of coming days where you're expecting some coverage, and to hear from different people, and for more people to discover what you do. And that's an exciting time where you're going to meet new people who want to hear more about what you're building, who are going to try your game for the first time, and you want to make the most of it. Like, that's also one of the reasons why I decided to postpone a bit our launch, because, well, it's not really a launch, it's just a new press release, but because I didn't have the headspace for that. I thought, let's say we do it like we did it 2 weeks ago. I definitely didn't have the time to just prepare everything, but also, even if I had rushed everything, I wouldn't had the time to sit down, go over the emails, reply to people, be very reactive, give additional interviews. I couldn't have done that. And that's something also to take in consideration, I think, when you're launching something, is then to have a buffer time just after, just to emphasize it. So to maybe promote what people have been writing about you, to maybe attend other events, and do more stuff around it to create more noise. When I was part of a product launch a few years ago, and that's what we did. We did a really big product launch at a big event, and then I planned about 2 months of series of events, smaller events, but just events to go to and talk again about the launch, and just get some time booking the calendar just to meet with people and do more things around the launch, and not planning ahead already the next step, but just focusing on making the most of it. So the launch wasn't just a 1 week thing, but it was actually a few months project. Yin, you say, I'm still trying to hold on to my idea of software as a garden. I really like that. I really like when you said that the other day on the stream. It was really nice. Yes, right. Software as a garden. The other day we had it was 2 months ago already. We did a live AMA, and Yinch was one of the guests, and he was talking about software as a garden that people come and visit, and that evolved, but you design it for people to experience. I definitely don't explain it well, but check out the interview. It's actually on my YouTube channel, and it was pretty nice. Yinch had many metaphors and images for things related to software, and it was a pretty nice discussion, really. We had Yinch, but we also had another guest this day, so it was like a three-way chat, and really nice. Right, you started learning German, and you're looking forward to be conversant in two languages. That's pretty nice. Why are you learning German? Why German specifically? Are you looking to move to Germany, or did you just speak German because you had some maybe foundations in German? And while you answer that, I am just going to just add a bit more brightness on my webcam, because it's getting darker, and what I see, the feedback I see, is also getting a bit dark right now. Okay. That's too much contrast. Okay, that sounds right. So Yinch, software as a garden was the idea that users of the software will arrive over many days, weeks, months, right? Rather than a single launch event. That was it. And where you say, in my high school, my language class was German. My teacher was very good. However, I did keep up with it. Oh, that's nice. It's actually very good to be able to speak different languages, not just for the practical aspect to it, but also because it gives you different perspective on things. When you think, if you start thinking in different languages, you don't necessarily react the same way, you don't think the same way, and so being able to manage two languages fluently is a good. I think it's a very good exercise, and gives you very different perspectives sometimes on the same thing. And you have different voices also. The voice isn't the same in the two languages, which is kind of funny when you're speaking to someone, and if you're able to speak to someone in two different languages, it's kind of funny to see the switch and the different voices. What about September? September is now coming, and has anyone been doing some things to just get ready? Like, when you're a kid, you you think about September like, shit, let's get back to school and it's going to start again. Another year. You don't know who are going to be your schoolmates, which class are you going to be in or anything. And is anyone doing anything to just get ready? Because when you're working, then you kind of have still this September rush, even though, well, you already know, your teamwork and the people you're going to work with. But you also know that everyone is just getting back from holiday, and so there will be a big rush of activity. Some events are restarting. I also don't know if you have been back to some in real life events. I haven't, not yet. I haven't really been meeting with anyone um, in real life so far. I'm thinking about it, but I don't think so. I had few, appointments or stuff like that, but I haven't really had a meeting, like a work meeting so far, or even a networking event or anything like that. But it's restarting for sure. So yeah, has anyone been doing anything? I have read some things on. I think it was on Twitter. Someone I'm following was saying that to get back to work and get ready for September, she was starting to write a blog. I think it was every day. Yeah, about every day for a certain number of days. I think it was about a month. That's an idea. I don't know. I would do that. Because I wouldn't want to add to my plate right now. But yeah, I'm very curious to hear if you have any tips just to get ready. Because right now, with the past few weeks that have been a nightmare, I'm looking for something just to get some energy back. Maybe you can see that, but I look tired. I don't really sleep well these days, and it has been the case for weeks. So I need something just to get some energy. Actually, live streaming give me some energy, so that's already good. But yeah, I need some ideas. Yinch was also talking in the Discord about taking maybe 1 or 2 days off, really. But I can't manage right now to take days off. I mean, not physically. I can do days without working. I'm just talking about days without thinking. That's harder. So if anyone has any suggestions, what do you do to just get some energy back for September? How do you prepare for that? And I know that's a tough question. Oh, well, you also say that you find being monolingual embarrassing, so knowing German will bring a lot of opportunities. It's not embarrassing, but that's right. Learning new languages is, well, it's if you're a native English speaker, you don't really need to. But I think it's a really good idea, even just to understand what people are going through, what people who are not native speakers um, just go through being in a country that is not their native language. So, Roy, for you, going to the gym helps you with energy. Okay. I need to get back to that too. I have stopped for the past 3 weeks at least doing any sports, any exercising, just because I am drained. I don't have energy right now, and so I'm just thinking. The other day, like a few days ago, I could barely wake up and move. I've been walking a lot, so I think some fresh air has been good for that. But need to get back to do, the regular exercising. Yes, for sure. That's a good idea. I just need to find motivation for that. But yeah, that's good. Any other suggestions? Playing games, of course. I haven't launched any video games for the past few weeks. Oh no, I did. The other day I I was quite hyped by the Dead Space remake announcement, and so yeah, I decided to play the older version, and it was pretty cool. But I couldn't really get into it. That was the problem. When you have something in your head, it's hard to get into any activity. So playing video games, I love that, but right now I just can't get into the game. I get distracted. I check my phone, even if I'm not expecting anything. Uh, that's the worst. Yeah, no other suggestion for now. I'll have the same, dilemma kind of thing when I will have to start going back to events. It was already the case before the pandemic, but when before going to a networking event, you're like, okay, I need energy. I need to be fun. I need to be nice. I need to sound smart. I need to fit in, and just for all that, having everything in mind at the same time, you're like, okay, take a deep breath and let's go. So you kind of need, every time I need a few minutes just before going out for a networking event, and be like, okay, I am in networking mode. I don't care about being embarrassed, starting a conversation or anything like that. Let's just do it. But now it's just about energy level in general. Right, what about multiplayer games that may not need much time investment? Yeah, but that's the same. I just think about something else. And that's quite bad, but yeah. Yinch, you say you usually try to have a mobile game app on the go, usually a puzzler. It's a distraction. It is, yes. I have I have had the bad habit over the past few months, I would say. Over the weekend, if I want to relax, something that works for me is to just browse Instagram or Facebook. I hate the content they create there. I'm not a big fan. You know, like watching videos of people who are beauty influencers. It's not really my thing, but I find it very relaxing just because I look at everything not taking anything very seriously, not following any advice or anything. So I'm just browsing, and it's kind of relaxing because you switch your brain off completely. So it that's what I do sometimes on the weekend to relax. You play short levels to burn up short minutes. Yes, that's a good thing. But it's also addictive. I don't know for you, but when I play some mobile games, I quite often find it addictive, and then I'm like, I need to play more games. And then I launch my computer and I play more games on my computer because my screen is too small, and and it never ends, and then you wake up and it's like already Monday morning. But yeah, I like to do that too. That's also why recently have been playing other games that are um, not that time consuming, like games that have a finished time, um, or old games. Like I've been playing Metroid, when I've found an old Metroid from Game Boy on my computer, and this has been pretty nice because the game is rather long, but uh, it's okay. You don't have the pressure to stay into the game, so you can just play for maybe an hour here, half an hour there. And we were talking about that the other day on Discord with Zappa also. The fact that it's hard to get some time to dedicate time to play video games. So sometimes just finding the right games that let you just jump in and out really quickly without committing too much time. That's also a good thing. Yeah, I really like that too. Usually what I do is I play games on Saturday morning. So if I wake up early, for example, and I tend to wake up early these days, I let my partner just sleep a bit more, and I just sneak in to be on my computer. So I'm quite excited to wake up on the on the weekend just to play video games. Um, Even though when he wakes up, I still keep playing, but still, just being excited to wake up just for that. I think that's pretty nice. That's that's a good feeling. That's a good way of starting the weekend. And then you do all the things you have to do, clean up the house, do some stuff. But yeah, that's other stuff that you do. Serious stuff you have to do later on. I didn't have a notification right here, but I just got an email notification, and thank you for let me get your username, Paolo, for your subscribe on YouTube. Thanks a lot. I don't know why it's not appearing here. Oh, it is. Okay, I just got the email notification before, so it should appear. Thanks a lot for your follow on YouTube. That's pretty nice, and I really appreciate that. YouTube is really the channel where you can find all the previous interviews, all the content. So I usually don't necessarily leave all the coffee catch up. I remove them just because it's a conversation, so no one wants to be quoted, or it's a chat. No one really is going to replay that. But I think I left one of them there just to give an idea to people on what we do, the kind of conversation we have on the coffee catch up too. So yeah, it's pretty nice to see new people joining. And that's also why I can't wait to create more content. Creating content isn't just about taking the time. It is time consuming, but it's not just that. It's as I said, I haven't been able to record anything for the past few months because of the noise, and uh, this has been a problem because you don't have an infinite time. So when you're ready, you need to just do it right now. You have an hour, you have your text ready. Okay, let's do it now. So this has been a problem dealing a lot of things. But I really hope that I'll be able to create a bit more content. I always wanted to do a bit more videos, like ad hoc videos. It's, I think, more difficult than live streaming. But yeah, even if we can just do more live streaming, create more content, do more stuff, that would be pretty cool. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do that once I am set up in my new place, my new office space. I don't know if where I'll put my plants. If I'll be able to have my plants behind me, or if I'll find something else. If we'll change the colors. Before I started having problem with my flat, I spent a few weekends working on the design of the channel. What I've been trying to do. I know it's crazy, but I wanted to experiment with virtual productions and using game engines to maybe, I don't know how, I don't know in what way exactly, but to spice up a bit the stream, maybe do some more interactive stuff, or create a better environment, something a bit more dynamic, because here we have what we have. We have a bit of dynamic elements coming from the chat. We have some background that is just a static image. I don't know what exactly I'm going for, but I wanted to change a bit the tone, do something different. I don't know what I want, so this is a difficulty, but I wanted to experiment with it, and then all the trouble I've had with the flat put me completely off that. I just didn't had the time or just the will to do it during the weekend. So I kind of put that on the side. I still have my project, my Unreal project, on my computer that is ready. And I created something cool, but then I got stuck. I created this environment, and I was just thinking, what do we do with that? It's a nice environment, but how does this stories goes with the channel itself? How do we integrate in a dynamic way the AMAs or the coffee catch up? What can we do with that? So I kind of stopped working on it, but I want to get back to it. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Yinch, yeah, virtual productions. Yeah, I love the idea, and I've seen so many people doing some cool stuff. I don't want to be completely replaced by a virtual avatar. I have tried. I have tried some stuff with that. I've created a virtual avatar, and it was kind of fun, but I don't necessarily want to replace myself with that. I found the facial expressions and the movement to be very limited and not expressive enough. So that's not really what I want to do. But then I don't know exactly what we can do. So I also registered this week for kind of a tutorial or a tour from Unreal. So hopefully I'll get some inspiration from that too, and we'll see. But if you have any suggestions, idea, cool stuff that you see on other stream that could also apply here, because I see a lot of people doing some cool stuff with video games and having people involved in the gaming part, and it's pretty cool. But we're not playing video games much here, so it's all about finding some interesting stuff to do together and getting everyone involved and just create an environment, a vibe that works with the channel. So yeah, open to suggestions, but I'll keep playing around, and I'm wondering also, would it be interesting to do this kind of thinking and brainstorming over a live stream? Like, I just launch the stream. We don't chat that much, not as much as during the coffee catch up. You still want to get things done, but we're gonna, just start doing some stuff. Launch Unreal, stream just some thoughts and progress, and that's about it. That could be interesting. Rinch, you are talking about a 3D chat space engine called Frame VR. Okay, so that has basic avatars and lets you still have your webcam floating next to your avatar. Okay, yeah, I've seen some things like that, but I want to reach the next level. More like virtual production level rather than having the webcam attached to avatars. I've explored for some time. Also, I was thinking doing the live AMAs through different platforms that have some kind of gamification. So I was thinking about GatherTown, for example. But I think these platforms don't give you enough flexibility when it comes to the webcam, when it comes to the visual. The quality is also quite often decreased compared to what you would get if you just had access to the webcam of the people directly. And so, yeah, it doesn't really add much because anyway, people are, if there is nothing to do, people are not just going to hang around. So I've explored a few things. By the way, I haven't yet decided how we're going to do the next interviews in terms of platforms, because now Google limits you to, I think it's 45 minutes or an hour call. So I'm thinking about being a bit cheeky and put a tweet asking directly to some platform to just sponsor us. Not like giving us money or anything, but just giving us a free membership to their platform so we can just have the live AMA without having the message saying, "Oh, the room is going to close in 2 minutes because you don't pay." I don't know how I can't afford right now to pay for that, but yeah, I'm thinking about doing something like that. It's a bit cheeky, but it doesn't cost them much. I mean, it's not about using fully the all the features and everything. I just want to be able to record a video call for an hour. That I don't think that's too much to ask. But yeah, these kind of platforms are nice, but I want the next step. I want to have this environment. I want to have the interaction and not just to have the design of another platform. Roy, you say, I enjoy your business advice vlog episodes on YouTube. Thank you so much. It really motivates me to do more because you don't really have much feedback on YouTube, especially when you have a small channel. You don't know if it's just your friends liking it, or if there's actually people that enjoy what you're actually saying. How to deal with unexpected multiple pressures and what you've learned recently would be interesting. I've actually been thinking about that, and I'll be definitely happy to share a video, especially once it's over, because it's not over yet. But most important will just be to be in a safe space. So that will come soon. But yeah, I'll be more than happy to talk about it. And especially as it has been a surprise, I was expecting pressure from work related stuff and stress from that. So I was kind of ready for this, but not that it come from more personal stuff. So yeah, definitely happy to share more about that and create a video on this. As I said, I want to create more, and maybe if I am just in a space where I can anytime hit the record button, maybe that will help. And also have a different setup, have a different vibe. Maybe not have a window next to me, and that I have to change completely my flat and put my partner in the dark every time I record something. We'll see how it goes. That's not going to be. I'm not going to have a streaming room or anything like that. But if I can just set up the space, thinking about recording, yeah, that could be. Maybe I will be able to create more content. And I don't know why on the notification on the side of the screen we don't see Paolo subscribe to YouTube. So I thank you again, but it doesn't appear on the side of the screen. I'll check this out. I don't know why exactly, because it shouldn't be just linked to Twitch, but it should actually be linked to my YouTube also. So I'll investigate afterward. So what's everyone's plan for the weekend? It's already 6 almost. Does anyone had any I don't know, any things just for this weekend? Any plans? Any stuff? I think I'll just start packing. Start packing a few things. I want to also sell some stuff. Go over all my belongings and see what I'm actually using, what I'm not using, what I can give away, what I can maybe recycle, what I can give back to some. There are some shops that, for example, collect all your old clothing, and so they recycle it or they reuse it in the future. So I need to do some trips to the shop for that. And yeah, start packing the things that I can move easily and that I know don't need on a daily basis. So I think I'll keep my head around moving out from here for this weekend. But maybe play some video games. Who knows? If I wake up early tomorrow, I may just launch some games. There's also a bunch of games I want to play with the Epic Store that gives you away 1 game or 2 games every week. There's a bunch of games that I want to try out. I've downloaded Control and another one that I need to try, but yeah, I haven't had the opportunity yet. So maybe this weekend, or maybe not. So Roy, for this weekend, you're focusing on your German and web development. Cool. Any specific project for web development, or is this just about learning? I find that with development, what really helps when you're just learning something is to have a specific project. It's kind of constraining because in the same time, you don't know if you have the skills to do it. But in the other hand, it's a good motivation. When you want to achieve something, it kind of forces you to maybe skip some steps, and you may miss some foundations, but in the same time, you are happy to build something specific in the end, and you're like, this goal is achieved. Yinch, you're going to probably be working on the VR ski game, but there's also your nephew's birthday party on Saturday. Oh, that's going to be party time. Oh, and you're going to what? Testing installing a live stream camera at church? I want to know about that. That sounds fun. So what is this going to be about? Is your church nearby ask you to do some live streaming stuff? You bought a camera that live streams with no additional computer. Oh, that's pretty cool. But still, it has to connect to the internet in the church, right? It's big. Well, I can imagine the computer, if it's not connected to a computer, that means that the computer is inside. I want, if you have pictures about this setup, or if you can share your experience, please update us on the Discord. I'm sure I'm not going to be the only one interested in that, because that sounds pretty exciting. I've actually been thinking about a project, well, not something similar, but my partner sent me a link the other day with some guy who was building a camera using his Raspberry Pi and Raspberry Pi? No, Raspberry Pi. Don't say P. Raspberry Pi. And so apparently, according to his testing, it was even better than my current webcam. So I'm thinking that may be a nice project to do. But yeah, I didn't know about a camera that does a live stream with no computers attached. So I'm pretty curious about what it looks like and the quality also. And also, if it's in a church, I'm wondering about the quality of the internet there, because churches have very thick walls. And so, for example, in my flat right now, we also have very, very thick walls, and Wi-Fi doesn't work out really well in all the different rooms. So there are some rooms that barely have, well, can't have Wi-Fi at all. We had to have some repeaters, and we don't have a huge flat. So, oh, it's hardline internet. Okay, fine. You also found that you can use a phone camera to stream to YouTube. Yes, you can, but to be honest, every time I've tried, it's not good. The frame rate is pretty bad. So maybe if you have a very static image, that could work. But still, you can see some problem with people if you speak or if you move your hands or anything. So far, I was pretty excited by the idea, and so far, everything I've tried, it wasn't that good. I've been a bit disappointed because phones are pretty good, the camera is very good. I don't see the problem. I think even if you connect your computer to your phone, there's still a big lag and lots of problems. So I don't know exactly how to fix that. What's the real problem? Because you just want to use your phone camera, right? And nothing to be done on your phone. You don't want anything done from your phone. You want the computer to manage everything and use your phone just for the camera. Oh, you say you used a phone last weekend for the YouTube live stream and it came out pretty well. Cool. What are you using for that? Is there a specific app? What did you do with that? You will share the link on the Discord. Please do. Yes, I am very curious about it. Okay, so you have a YY P30. Okay. I don't see which model it is really, but yeah. No, I'm glad that you find a solution that works. So yes, please do share on the Discord. And if some people here are watching us but are not on the Discord, you should be able to find the link pretty easily. Whatever platform you're using, it should be accessible from all the description. And feel free to join us because it's a nice way to keep in touch after the stream and just to talk more about your project. You know, here it's you can talk about some problems you're having and ask some questions, but it's so much easier when you can also share some, I don't know, some videos or some links about what you're building, so that would be pretty nice. Well, I think it's going to be it for today. I'm not going to take too much of your time because it's already getting closer to the weekend, and yeah. Yincha says the app is called Lyrics Broadcaster on Android. Okay, let me take note of that. Lyrics with an R. Lyrics Broadcaster. Yes, I'm going to check this out, and feel free to share your experimentation on the Discord, because I love experimenting with new stuff. I love this kind of things, so I'm very curious for that. And looking at who's active recently on the Discord, I'm pretty sure that everyone will be pretty eager to chat about this experimentation and all your live streaming. I remember you mentioned live streaming before, but I didn't really know what you've been live streaming. I haven't seen anything. So yeah, I'm super curious about that. And if it's in a church, it's even more intriguing, because churches have lots of, it adds lots of layers of difficulty. You mentioned the audio, yes, and the fact that if you're doing it in a church, it's even harder to get the audio right because of the resonance of the room. It's actually made for that. So I can't imagine just recording the sound. Yeah, you haven't yet solved the sound. Well, I guess one of the solution is to get the sound directly from the mic of the priest and not from the room, so you don't necessarily get the chorus. So you need a different mic from the priest, a mic for the chorus, and you don't get at all the sound from the room. I guess that would be the first thing that comes to mind. But then how do you do that if you don't actually set up a full computer there? That's tricky if you want to keep it light. But yeah, that's super interesting. That's very interesting. I'll think about it even further. Please do share everything. Yes, and report back. And I think everyone will have some ideas, maybe, and some thoughts on that. It has been such a pleasure having this coffee catch up with you again. I really love, catching up with everyone, seeing some names that I haven't seen for a long time, or just. Yinch, we've been chatting for a long time. I even had you on the stream. We've been on the Discord, and still I didn't know about this project. So I really love that. Really, great opportunity to just have nice discussion and learn more about some project you're doing. And yeah, keep an eye on my Twitter as usual. That's where I announce the stream if you're not on the Discord. And as soon as I have some visibility on, my next room and office where I can stream from, I'll share maybe some picture or some feedback. But also, I'll make sure to announce my next guest for September as soon as possible. I don't think we're going to do that early in September. Everyone is going to be busy, so no way. But I can't wait to restart the AMA. If you have any topic, any domain you want to hear from, maybe want some more technical founders, or au contraire have founders that are maybe doing something that are more accessible, less techy, and example of things that are maybe easier to produce, or some business model, or I don't know, anything, just let me know, because when you have a clear idea of the kind of people you want to have on the stream, it's easier to find people, or to have to do an open call, just saying I want to talk to these kind of people. So yeah, just hit me up on social media anytime. And in the meantime, I wish you a lovely weekend ahead. Speak soon, everyone, and see you soon. Bye.